Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, will it play? We are testing the Ryzen 3 1200 today, 3.7 GHz overclock, 16 GB of RAM, and the Sapphire Pulse RX 560 2GB graphics card. So we basically have a $100 CPU and a $100 graphics card. How well does it play? Perfect. Take a look at the real-time performance numbers in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. I could sit here and create a 10-minute video and talk about it in excruciating detail, but the reality is we're at nearly 200 frames per second. You don't need any more to play this game whatsoever. To be completely honest, you could play this game at 1440p and you'd be just fine. If you turn the detail down a notch or two, 4K would not be out of the question. Although, maybe go up a little bit higher if you really want to do 4K, but 1440p would be just fine. So, what's the point of the rest of this video? Well, mostly to say that Counter-Strike Global Offensive will play on almost anything. The upcoming Ryzen APUs, the Ryzen 3 2200G, not released on the day I recorded this, but it's coming up very soon on February 12th, should also play this game just fine. Rest assured, I will test this game on it. Now, the frame rate's going to be lower because it has about half the performance of this, maybe a little bit less, but you'll still be comfortably over 60 frames per second even on that APU. Want a bit more performance? You could go for the new Ryzen 5 2400G, which does have more actual processing cores for the graphics chip in addition to 8 threads, but it really isn't going to make a difference to Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Games like Overwatch will make a bigger difference too, World of Warships, World of Tanks, Dota 2, but frankly this game right here, if you're willing to accept lower detail, will actually play on Intel's integrated graphics just fine, much less a dedicated card such as this. There isn't much else to say, but I will make a couple of points. First of all, this system does have 16 gigs of RAM, which I understand is overkill for this, but it doesn't matter. Look at the RAM usage, we're at 5.1 gigs. You wouldn't want to do this in 4 gigs of RAM, but 8 would be absolutely plenty. In fact, for most games that you're going to run on a Ryzen 3 1200 or the upcoming APU, 8 gigabytes is probably enough, and at this price point, 8 gigabytes makes much more sense. I just have 16 gigs in because, well, that's what my test bench has, so it is what it is. I won't bore you with any more detail because frankly the performance is self-explanatory. We had an average frame rate across 8 minutes of testing of 190 frames per second average, a 1% low of 112 frames, and a 0.1% low of 72. If you have a 1080p 144Hz monitor, a $100 CPU, and a $100 graphics card will do the job just fine. Like this video if you like it, share it with your friends if you loved it, remember to subscribe to my channel with that big huge red button directly below, post your comments below the video, check the links in the video description for the CPUs, the graphics cards, and all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you in my next video.